It's time for the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU, the official local sports show here in Glasgow and Barron County. And now, alongside John Butler, here is your host, James Brown.
Welcome back this week. We have football coaches. Actually, we're going to have a parade of coaches over the next few weeks as we get ready for the start of the high school seasons in the fall that are not golf, because that's already going on. All right, so we're going to start off today here on the Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow with new Glasgow football coach Jackson Arnett. You're not new to the area. You grew up in Monroe County. You coached at Barron County, then went and served as an assistant in Boyle County, which was not a bad place to go for a few years. I think you guys won 3 state championships while you were there.
Yep. Should have been 4.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Covenant Catholic. Is that who it was last year? Got you guys finally, huh? So I guess my first question for you before we even get to your team is, I mean, you were a young coach when you took over at Barron County. And, you know, you had played baseball in college, but, I mean, you played football all through high school. And, you know, so you were kind of learning to be a coach, I think, that first time around. What were the things that you learned at Boyle County that you are bringing now that you just didn't really know when you were at Barron?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just, you know, since I was at Boyle, I had a child of my own, so I think that just makes you a better coach in general, because you have that empathy for your own child, so you kind of, you know, you get it more, you can understand. But I think just I've always been a relationship builder with players, and I think that just enhanced being there, because you know, that was part of my role there. I was a younger guy on staff there too. But the biggest thing I would say is just you know, at Boyle, there's a looming standard all the time that, you know, it's win or else, and you know, the pressure is always there, which I love that, and I appreciate that. And that's one thing I like that attracted me to Glasgow, is the pressure to win, and you have a chance to win. So I think the biggest thing is for me was just learning how to manage players, learning how to manage certain things, because Coach Haddix gave me a lot of responsibility. You know, so I think that was the biggest thing: learning how to manage players and a roster, and how to not let the standard ever drop, while also maintaining those relationships. You know, we're pretty hard on our guys, and they would tell you that, you know, I'm hard on them, but I'm going to always make sure they know I love them, and I think they respect me for that, and I think it's the most productive way to get the most out of kids.
Were there certain, like, off-season or preparation for the season things that you learned at Boyle County that you hadn't really known before?
Well, the weightlifting class, there's second to none. I got to run it while I was there, but one thing that we do now that they did there that I had never been a part of was we lift weights in the mornings. So we have first period weights instead of last period weights. So now the kids don't have to choose, like in the off season, am I going to go to baseball today or basketball? Like, they're going to do football in the morning. Our whole team is together. Our coaches are there, and we bust our tails. And then by lunch, a 17-year-old kid is recovered. You know, he eats twice, and then he goes. You know, we had kids that would PR on power clean that morning, but then go power clean in long jump or something that night, or play basketball. And so it was good for them. It taught them how to grind, how to work. But that's the biggest thing, is we go in the morning, and it's 5 days a week. There's probably not a lot of off-season conditioning programs that are 5 days a week, but we are, and we go in the morning, and they can do everything. They don't have to, you know, when school's over or after first period's over, football's done for the day. So I love it, and my kids like it too.
So is that, like, how soon did you get to Glasgow and tell them, hey, look, you got to be here what time do you have to be there?
Class starts at 8. We were bringing them in at like 7:30. So just different every day. We had a dog week before spring break where they were coming in at 6:30 and going all the way through the end of first period. right away.
Yeah.
And that was the number one thing. I was like, this is it's the most important thing we do, in my opinion, is the strength and conditioning program.
Yeah, and so how did the older players respond to that, at least initially?
They just did it. I mean, I didn't really give them a choice, and I think they were eager. I mean, they seemed, that was one thing I was impressed with, was that they, there is that kind of standard and tradition at Glasgow. So like they were embarrassed a little bit about how things ended last year, and I think that they wanted to do something, and it was different for them, and it was hard, but it was also different.
Yeah.
And they started seeing gains and felt like they got more athletic, because it's not just lifting. We do a lot of
like calisthenics
agility,
and whatnot.
speed and agility,
Yeah.
a lot of sprint work, a lot of mobility training. So it's just a bunch that goes into it.
Yeah. So I guess talking about the players being disappointed in last season, I mean, that the upside is that you have somewhere about 15 or 16 seniors. So you had a large junior class. That's a lot of people who can come in and say, I don't want to have another season like that. It's not the upside of that versus if you had a small class is you've got a bunch of people then who are probably committed to it, and you can kind of change the tone of the program because of that class.
Well, you like to think so. I mean, they were disappointed because they want to win, and they expect to win, and it don't happen a lot. I mean, it just don't happen a lot. Coach Carmen did a great job. He was 80 something and 30 something, so it's just not a lot of losing happened, and they were just, I think they were just excited about something new maybe, and they work really hard, and they don't always get it right the first time, but when you coach them, they usually come around and do it right the second time.
Yeah, John.
Let's talk about some of the maybe the on the field changes that we'll probably see this year. Offensively, are there going to be maybe a change in style, and same thing defensively? Can you kind of give us an idea maybe what we're going to be looking at this year?
Yeah, based on what I saw on film last year, it'll look quite a bit different probably. I think it's more. I'm not a person that's going to say we're going to run this no matter what. Like, we're going to try
personnel,
to
right?
tailor it to what our kids, and I think we got a lot of good athletes. I think we have a good big physical quarterback that can run, and he can throw too. And we got multiple guys that can take snaps and play quarterback, and that don't always play quarterback per se. So I mean, we're going to do a lot of stuff to give ourselves an advantage, hopefully, in terms of the tempo we play at and the pace we play at, and offensively we want to dictate to the defense. So
and that weight room will really help the side that people don't pay attention to that means a lot, and is your line. Right.
Yeah. And they were young last year,
yep,
and we'll be semi-young again this year. So, but there's a lot of experience that comes back, and that's the big thing with them. And we tell them all the time, we're not asking you to do too much. We try to make it really easy on them, and we got to get it to our athletes in space, and they just need to do their job. And I'm not going to ask them to do too many crazy things. Just execute what we ask you to do, and let the athletes make plays and
give them a chance.
You've
right?
Done your job.
Yeah, give them a chance. That's right.
You mentioned before we came on the air you have a couple of scrimmages. One of them is August 9th, where you're going. I guess it's like a 4-team get-together. Is that
right? Yeah, it'll be at Jabez, and it's Lake Cumberland 4-H camp.
Okay.
They have a team camp down there, and we're just joining the one day on Saturday. So it's that'll be the first one. It's more of a scrimmage style as opposed to the next one at Logan County will be more game like, or it's at Glasgow, but against Logan County the next week.
Yeah, and I guess that's about August 14th or so. It's on Thursday.
Yep.
All right. When you looking at that camp setup and then the scrimmage setup, the game style scrimmage, what do you want to see from your team in those two setups?
I just want to see them compete and execute. It's really simple. We're not going to do a lot. We're not going to. I mean, we're going to try to run our base stuff, and I just want to see them compete really hard and do everything they can to win, because we want to win every rep, but just execute what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know it's still new for them, but we should be executing it at a high level right now.
Yeah. You mentioned players, but we haven't mentioned names of players. I mean, you mentioned the quarterback that is coming back, Hudson Gum. Of course, you got Jalen Bradley and Jarek Martin, two of the skill players that probably you're going to have to lean on. Who are some other people who are kind of standing out for you at the moment?
We've got several. You know, you got Campbell would be the leading rusher, I think, from last year. He's back. He's a good football player.
He had 10 TDs, I think, last year.
Yeah, he's a really good player. You've got Ryder Heller, will carry the ball some. A young guy not a lot of people know about is Cabron Jones. He'll be a sophomore. He's very talented. I'm extremely excited about him. There's a bunch. I hate to not name them, but you've got several young guys that can contribute, that can really run. Keyshawn Austin's really fast. Landon Martin, he'll be a senior. He's a good athlete. He's been making plays. Jeremiah Moore has been making plays in practice. So there's a lot of good athletes to spread it around to. And, you know, Jathan Franklin's another young guy that could see some carries. He's a big physical back, plays linebacker for us too. So a lot of those guys will probably contribute, depending on what night and who's hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then the offensive line, I think there was only one senior on the offensive line last year as far as a starter.
Yeah.
There may have been a couple who came in and played. So you mentioned kind of coming back, but also young again. So I'm guessing you got some younger guys you're looking at moving up in those spots too.
Yeah. Well, they'll be, you know, and it'll be, we've not really found our identity yet, and probably won't for a few weeks. So it'll be a moving chessboard at that, you know, who we think we've got the 6-7 guys we will rotate or whatever, but who is in what spot, I couldn't really tell you right now, because we're still trying to figure
That's
that
what scrimmages and early season also will tell you. From my coaching experience, sometimes players play better when they play rather than practice, and and once you start hitting and tackling somebody else, I think you'll probably see some more toughness and who sticks out and so forth.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get away from that. We're trying to make every day like a game, but it is what it is. You're going to have kids that just play better when the lights are on. So.
Got a new district, right?
Yeah. What do you think about this schedule here, John?
It's a new district, but it's a district that, I mean, most of the teams on the schedule are familiar. I mean, Barron and Monroe are not in your district, or Allen, but those are long-term rivals. And by the way, all three of those are probably better than normal, to be honest with you. Barron's coming off a great year, and Monroe's one of the better teams they've had in a while. And Allen County, I think, is supposed to be good. But your district is it 5 teams?
Mm-hmm. 6.
That's right. It's 6.
Adair, Hart, LaRue, Edmondson, us. Am I missing one? I thought there was 6 of us.
I thought there were 6 too, but I only see 5 on. I see 4 on
Butler.
the.
Butler's not on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got Butler County too.
Okay, and you do play them too this year.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's just not on this schedule right there, but I think it's a.
Oh, that's the October 3rd game. That's not on there.
Yeah.
It's Butler County.
Looks like to me it's a very. I mean, 6 teams in a district is unusual. You got to earn your way to the playoffs.
I know.
You got to earn your way, but it's a district that just I think you should obviously compete well in.
Well, we expect to. You know, all the teams I think are going to be. You know, Adair will be good again. Hart's going to be good again. I don't know as much about the other teams.
Yeah, LaRue has been down the last couple of years, but they had a history of being good.
Right. Yeah, and you know, I know the guys there at Edmondson. They're going to do a good job. They'll be a good physical team too. So, you know, it's just one of those deals where you have to win those games, and our mentality is to win the next one, win every rep. So it'll be fun though. There's going to be a bunch of good games on the schedule. It's a tough stretch there. I mean, there's no like let up weeks.
Well, you open up at Barron against Clay County, Salina, Tennessee. I have no idea about them.
They were really, really good last year. They bring back. They had a quarterback and a receiver that were really good. They were brothers. The quarterback graduated. Now the receiver's probably going to play quarterback.
Okay.
So they'll be good again. they'll be solid. It'll be a great test to open up with that I'm excited about. So,
have you guys discussed like season goals, or do you worry about that kind of thing?
we just, we just talk about our motto is take what's ours. So we just try to, we are 100% focused on just winning every rep. If you win every rep, the wins, the losses will take care of themselves, and the goals will take care of themselves. So
Yeah.
but obviously, the goal every year for me is to win it all. I mean, it just is what it is. I can't think otherwise.
You should. No, you shouldn't.
No.
I think that should be
Yep.
the goal. But I don't have any problem with that. I think you have to set yourself up
Yep.
high.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, I mean, how did the players kind of respond to that? I mean, because you're right, Glasgow has a history of being a solid football program, but also has a history of just missing the mountaintop. And so, I mean, is that something you guys have talked about a little bit?
Well, I mean, I just say this is what it's going to take to get there. I know what it takes to get there. This is what it's going to take. Let's get there.
Yeah.
And they're trying. So I mean, and to win it all, it takes a lot. The best team don't always win it.
Yeah.
I firmly believe we were the best team in Kentucky last year, and one night we got beat. So it's really hard to do that, and I think that they've just got to understand, that this is what it takes to get to that point. And then after that, does the ball fall your way? Do you get a call? Do you make the play? Do the other team make the play? So that's why we're so focused on the off-season program, is because, we take pride in working harder than everybody else and practicing harder than everybody else.
It's the old adage of you got to be good enough to get lucky, right?
Yeah. A lot of times you make your own luck. It's crazy that a lot of the best teams that win it seem to win it all the time get the most breaks. So you gotta make your own luck sometimes, and I believe that hard work will do that.
Yeah, John, anything else you can think
No,
of?
I was just looking at the schedule. You have 6. Is Butler County on the road? I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
We're 6-4.
yeah, you got 6 home games. Your last 4 at home,
Mm-hmm.
and you hope maybe the next couple after that are at home.
Yep.
If you
So,
take care of business and
hope so.
host playoff games and so forth. But that's
That's the goal.
Anything else you can think of you need people to know?
Our Friday Night Lights camp is this Friday for the Little League kids, and that's open to anyone. We'll have our sign-ups going on there also, and so we want people to come out and do that, and we take pride in it, think it's the best one, and make it a big deal. We're excited about it, and we'll have the field painted up and the lights on, so that'll be fun. And then we want people to come out and watch. We're excited about what we're going to put on the field, and we're ready to go.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Coach Jackson.
we'll be hosts. We'll be on the radio.
That's right.
we got them.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, you'll be able to hear it. It's 103.1 WCLU Blue is what we call it these days. And Joe Myers and Bruce Tribune and Larry Alexander, all those guys carrying them every Friday night. All right, Coach Arnett, thanks for joining us to talk about Glasgow football. This Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's Glasgow. We'll be right back.
Presented by McDonald's of Glasgow, it's back to the studio with James and John, the Brown Sports Bag.
John, it's been a busy few days of golf, I'll tell you that.
Well, they've had the weather other than being hot, but but
Yeah.
not a lot of rain, so they've been able to play.
Yeah, it was. It actually was not too bad Saturday. I went over to Campbellsville at the country club for a little while. Both Barron and Glasgow were playing over their boys, and it wasn't too bad. I'm guessing though it probably got a little worse in the afternoon over there. I don't know if it ever actually rained in Taylor County, but I tell you what, that tournament was loaded with really good teams. It usually is, and St. X won that thing at 14 under as a team.
Good gracious.
No, what
That's
a round.
incredible.
That's what we're
I don't know if that's a record or not, but that's.
I've never. They won the tournament by 17 strokes.
I could see it in best ball,
Right.
but when you're taking the scores of 4 guys.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
I mean, basically everybody's under par. I mean,
Yes.
It's not just one person had an
No, you
outstanding.
can't. You can't have one of the 4 shooting 78.
No, they've got all shoot par and lower, and not just kind of lower. I mean, 2 or 3 strokes lower each of them to
Wow.
get there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was that was an impressive round, and I think I don't remember if Taylor County finished second. The second place team was 3 over. Third place was like 4 over. Barron and Glasgow, they finished 23rd and 24th. I mean, it was just a loaded field. Griffin Jackson wasn't playing with Glasgow, so and one of their other guys who's in their first 5, he was not able to play. So they were kind of piecemeal. So they actually played better than I thought they would as a team, considering 2 of their top 5 were not actually playing for them. And then Cam Pittman, he shot 80, so I think that was 8 over par. But and then J.P. Ross shot 86 for Barron. So I think Tate Pace was Glasgow's number 1 he finished first for Glasgow at 81.
Okay.
So, but that also I think tells me that course wasn't – that minus 14 was on a course that was not set up for people just to go out there and shoot minus 14. I mean, that made that round even more incredible when I looked at some other people's rounds who are usually pretty good, like Barton Rutledge from Allen County. I think he was like 6 over in the thing. So, our other golfers in this area who shoot really good rounds usually were mid-70s and that kind of thing. So that made that St. X number even more insane to me. And then today, the Barron County girls have been busy. They played, I think, Tuesday last week. They played Monday, Thursday, Friday.
I've been looking
today.
at your website, and it looks like Chloe Witcher's been playing outstanding.
She has.
She's
got
made
off
a
to
big
really good
jump
start.
from last year, hasn't she?
Yeah. I mean, I would guess right now she's 6 or so strokes lower than she was last year on regular.
She's mid-70s or lower, right?
Yeah. And today,
probably one of the top 3 in the region right now, individually, probably.
Yes. Her, Kinsey Willen, I think Caroline Childress from Bowling Green's been up there. Those have probably been the top 3 right now of the rounds I've seen in this region. I would have thought Elsie Espinola from South Warren, which South Warren doesn't have a team again this year.
Just individuals.
Yeah, just a couple of golfers. They've gone through that cycle again, which is kind of crazy for a program that good.
Or a school that size.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So I think, but Elsie Espinola has not. She's been 4 or 5 strokes behind those other 3 I just mentioned. So right now, the Bowling Green girls look like the number 1 team in the region just early on.
Right.
They won today, the Lady Spartan Invitational. Chloe Witcher finished tied for 3rd in that. She was right there in the run until the last hole. She had a little bit of a stumble on hole 18, so that kind of knocked her down. She was like 1 over. She finished 3 over, but still, she's been 3 over. I think she's been 2 over, 3 over, 3 over in the rounds that I've seen. She's finished 5th, 3rd, tied for 3rd. The one that she was tied for 5th in was the Bowling Green Lady Purple's Invitational last Monday. And that one featured Trinity Beth from Marshall County and Madison Glisson from Ballard Memorial, they're in the top 5, maybe top 10 in the state golfers this year. I would guess those 2 might actually be 2 of the top 5 golfers. So that's a field where she shot 2 over, I think, and finished tied for 5th. That tells you how strong that field was last week at the Bowling Green Country Club. So, yeah, she's off to a good start. I think Lucy Zala has been basically the number 2 golfer for Barron so far. She shot somewhere 6 over to 8 over in that range so far. So not bad.
High 70s, low 80s?
Yeah, that's right. So not bad at all for her. So, it's this golf season, man, it starts and it is.
It's a sprint.
Yeah, it is. The first 4 weeks.
Right.
I mean, they play so many tournaments.
Of course, the girls and guys that play year-round, this is like their end of their season.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because they've been playing
since March.
Spring. That's right.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, the Lady Scotty Invitational is this Thursday at the Willow Oaks Golf Club, and I think they're starting at 8 a.m. on Thursday. I don't know what that
Weather's
field
supposed
looks
to
like.
break Thursday. It's supposed to be comfortable.
Yeah, and I think we might have some thunderstorms in the afternoon, but it looks like the morning will be good. I think we're actually going to start the day off somewhere in the 60s.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I will tell you this, Park Mammoth is...
There's not a lot of trees out there anymore.
No, it's a heat lamp.
That's right.
Is what it is.
It's hot. Yep.
So there's no shade. Everything is out cleared where the holes are and everything. There's a few little areas, but not many.
Yeah,
and
it's psychologically it can be tough.
Yes, that's what
especially if you're having a tough day because it's the heat and just can't get any air or anything like that. It's tough.
Yeah, that's what Will Perkins asked me if the wind blows, and I'm like, not that I've been out there. It's like standing in a convection oven because I mean it's just whatever breeze there is, just heat circulating around you. But I was thinking about that, what you just said about the psychological side. I was thinking about that while I was out there, because I mean you start at 8, and it was not a shotgun start, so it was a staggered start today. So let's say you start at 8:45, which is not too late really, but it's not the early morning fog, or if you got a little coolness in the morning, it's broken and now the sun's beaming down on you. You're 2 holes into your 18 holes.
The pace of play is probably slow.
Yeah, it was a little slow this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I just started thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if you hit one, and the rough out there is rough, it is fairways and a little thin, edge there, and then it's, grass, and people are hitting in the grass quite a bit. If you hit out in there, it's got to be, like you said, just demoralizing. It's got to be tough to keep your head up.
Sure, focus,
round.
yeah, because of the weather conditions, yes.
Yeah. So if anybody's shooting a pretty good round out there, they've had a really good day compared to how they could be at some other courses. And I don't know how tough the course is in terms of the layout and that kind of thing, because you're not other than that grassy bit, you're not hitting around a whole lot of hazards and that kind of thing out there, but just the way the intensity of the heat is really your hazard, probably your biggest hazard. Anyway, so that's kind of how the early golf season is going. And I know the Barron and Glasgow boys are both playing tomorrow over at Crosswinds. I think that thing's called the Southern Kentucky Shootout or something.
Yeah, that's in Bowling Green. That's the one next to the airport, right?
Yeah, that's right. So you got to dodge the planes. Not really.
It'll be hot there, too.
It will. There's not a whole lot of shade there either. But, yeah, so, the golf season's on a roll. Everything's going pretty well. And we're going to have Scott Zettlemoyer come on in here after this break and talk to us about Lady Scotties soccer.
Presented by McDonald's of Glasgow, it's back to the studio with James and John, the Brown Sports Bag.
Well, our next coach is in the building with us, Scott Zettlemoyer. This is the Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. Scott's here to tell us about the Glasgow Lady Scotties soccer program. We were discussing coming in. They improved last year, but as he pointed out, the year before that was one of the roughest ones probably in the program's history. It was a combination of things. You had some people who graduated. Your numbers were down. But you had already set in place the things to kind of turn it around.
Yes.
Primarily having a girls' middle school program that has now fed some players into your varsity program. And I guess that's probably helped as much as anything to kind of get your things turned around for you.
Absolutely. My thing this whole off season is this is probably going to be one of the youngest teams we've ever had, but I feel like it's also one of the most experienced teams because all these freshmen have been playing together for 3 years already.
Yeah.
And so like they already have the experience of playing together, playing within the system and things like that. So I think it's good building blocks, and it'll allow us to not have to start at the basics and be able to actually coach the game rather than having to teach the basics of the game.
Yeah, you're not having to run foot drills and, just where to put your body and that kind of stuff. You're actually able to try to start teaching some sets and install some offense and maybe some defensive ideas and that kind of stuff. And I guess that's, for almost the whole time you've been the coach, a lot of times you've just been teaching the basic skills to start with, haven't you?
Apart from like the first 2 years, it's been a rebuild for the past 4 years, trying to get the numbers up, get the system going in. And I feel like, last year we kind of saw the growth in the girls, seeing the development in the players individually, but as a team as well. Yeah. And then this year we're hoping to really take everything that we took last year and grow on it a whole lot more as well.
Do you see a lot more excitement from the players themselves now that they are more comfortable with just playing the game?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's interesting because they've been getting together and just hanging out with each other on Friday nights because we don't practice on Friday nights. I let them go and hang out, and they all go and go over to somebody's house, they'll watch a movie, they'll go swim in a pool or something and just hang out together. But yeah, even when we get into practices and things like that, it's like, okay, this is the drill. They're more comfortable getting into it and not having to like go over the drill 4 or 5 times for them to understand what we're doing.
Yeah. John?
Well, you went from 2 years ago from 0 wins last year to 6 wins, and I think that's a big jump just from my personal coaching throughout the years. 0 to 6 is big.
Yes.
And, you just mentioned fun. It's a lot more fun when you win.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
miserable not to win a game.
Absolutely.
So what I saw about the scores, and I think I saw a couple of your games last year or whatever, to go from 6-11 to maybe better than that, 500 or more, is it offensively is where you need to see the greatest growth? Because it looked like to me your scores last year, defensively, you were pretty darn good last year. Is it?
That's been like, that's one thing I feel like I've always taken pride in is we usually have a solid defense. Like even the year when we went 0-13, there was about 4 or 5 of those games that were one or 2 goal games that we probably could have won if we had more attacking presence. We've lacked a little bit of that attacking presence these past couple years, but we're really hoping that this year.
And that's skill related, right?
It's skill related. It's just it's instinctual type of thing. Like you've got to have that like goal scorer. You've got to have that somebody that's has that knack for goals. It's kind of like in basketball. You've got to have that score. It's just what it is.
Kind of a dog, I guess, right?
Exactly. You almost have to have that dog out there that's just willing to just be gritty and get into the places and the right spots. And we do have some talent now, and they've really developed together, and it's a chemistry base. So they're getting to know each other a little bit better and knowing where each other is on the field and things like that. Yeah, scoring goals is going to be our biggest thing. That if we can start scoring a bunch of goals this year, I feel like that's going to really take us.
Yeah, if you can get a
level.
lead, that way you play defensively, that you'd be tough to come. That's right.
So you mentioned having some dogs. Do you have some that you're like looking at and you're like, all right, like in practice, you tell them, you've got to shoot the ball.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a couple freshmen coming up. There's Aniston Young, Maria Ramos. They're both going to be they have a knack for being in the right place, scoring goals, and tactically they're really strong. Audrey Burchett this spring really worked hard. She's really developed her game, and I feel like she's gonna really be putting the ball in the back of the net quite often this season. Danny Stevens, she's just lightning quick. She's so fast, and it's getting her more comfortable in front of goal. But once we get her comfortable in front of goal, she's just going to outrun everybody and start scoring goals left and right. So those are I feel like those are going to be our key dogs when we're talking about scoring goals. But I mean, defensively, we're going to be stout at the back. We've got Carolee Gentry, I about said Banksy, Aniston Guy. They're both freshmen coming up. They're both strong as oxes. Like they're not afraid to go into.
Is your goalie back?
Oh yeah, goalie's back. Deja's back in goal. She's the bona fide leader of this team, in my opinion. And I feel like the girls also agree to it. How she goes in practice, how she goes.
They need to be vocal too, right? Your goalie, I would think.
Oh yeah, and she just has this knack for wanting to learn the game. She's wanting to know everything. She's wanting to play a much higher level of soccer than what our girls are able to play right now. She's wanting to build out from the goalkeeper. She wants to get the ball at her feet, be able to play out, play passes out. So it's really, she's challenging these freshmen that are going to be coming in and playing defense for us. Like, hey, this is what I'm wanting. This is what we're wanting. So they're getting comfortable with that ability and being able to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how we can have the grit and determination as a defense, but also being able to build out of the back is going to be really interesting.
Sometimes you can get some quick hitters by getting into their breakaways is what I would call it, I guess.
Yeah. That's an interesting transformation for Deja, isn't it? I mean, because when she first became goalie, it's because you said, I need a goalie. Is that how that kind of started?
Pretty much. She showed up in the spring. I guess this was the spring before the 0-13 season, and it was just like, she was really good with her feet already. Yeah. But I needed somebody that could catch a ball. And she was one of the only ones that knew how to catch a ball. And she just was like, I'll do whatever you want me to do as long as I get on the field. So she kind of took that took that mantle on, and she's kind of just ran with it. I've said it multiple times. I feel like she's one of the top 3 goalkeepers in our region, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your schedule, because you guys open the regular season August 12th against Clinton County. Do you have some scrimmages before that?
We only have the one scrimmage as of right now. It's only on the 5th, August 5th. We play at home against Todd County. I feel like that'll be a good starting point, looking at who they played last year and who we played last year. I feel like we kind of matched up really well with them, so I wanted to see where that would lead us going forward. I feel like that'll be a good starting point. Mm-hmm. And then going away at Clinton will be a good, hopefully, booster confidence to try and get us going before we go to play against East on the 14th.
Well, and the district's going to be different, mostly because the state's leading goal scorer is no longer in school at Warren East.
Exactly.
She graduated and moved on finally.
Yep. She Decca's graduated. She went on to play. I think she's playing at Kentucky Wesleyan, but Warren East is still going to be a very good team. Yeah. Barron's still going to be a very good team. Allen's still going to be a very competitive team. So this district is. I feel like our district is finally developing and getting better and better. So hopefully it can stay up there.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak for you, but to me, for any of the 4 schools, the goal has to be probably to win the district or to get out of the district, because until I don't even want to South Warren and Greenwood. I mean, it's Greenwood and Bowling Green, right? They just have been dominant.
Oh yeah.
In terms of state power, it's not just regional power, but the district is much more realistic. I assume, right?
Absolutely. I feel like with the talent that we have now and the development that we've had this off season, winning the district is not out of our reach. I feel like we could definitely go for it. But yeah, I feel like definitely winning district is our goal. I feel like you can't come into the season and not have that as your actual mindset, especially when this is what we've been working on. These girls have been working their butt off all spring and all summer, so they've already kind of set that this is their mindset. They want to win district this year.
And you were competitive with all the school. In fact, you beat Allen last year, isn't that correct? But competitive in the scores, at least, with Barron and Warren East.
Yeah, the East games kind of got away from us at times, but they were when we played them in the Class 2A region championship or sectional championship. I don't know what they call it anymore. We played a lot more competitively. I think it was 2-0 for majority of the game until the last little bit, and it got away from us because we were trying to push to try and get at least one back. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like they graduated, I think, 11 at East. They graduated 11 seniors, and one of those was the top goal scorer in the state, obviously. But they had a really strong core in that 11 seniors. But they still will have a very good team. I have no doubt in my mind.
When you look at your schedule, I mean, you mentioned the scrimmage against Todd and the game against Clinton. Your first home game is August 18th against Monroe County. But as you look at your schedule, I mean, are there games where you're all right, this is where we're really going to find out about our team and whether, how much we've grown and whether or not they can really grasp how to compete where we want them to compete?
I mean, the 14th right off the bat, because it's East right off the bat, right off the start of the season. So, I mean, if we can go to East, play on their turf, and have a good showing, I feel like that will boost the girls' confidence tremendously. And then we got to go to Logan County. And I really, as much as I want to win district, I also want to try and really compete for this Class 2A this season. I feel like we have the group that we can do it, and I want to push the girls to try and at least get to the next rounds and the next rounds throughout, as far as we can actually go until we find somebody that's really impossible to beat.
Right. Yeah, so I guess that Logan County's the 2A game?
Yes.
And then who else is in that? Is East in the 2A or?
East is in the 2A. I believe they're on the opposite side of the bracket, if I remember correctly from us.
Okay. Is Warren Central in that 2A? Are they doing that?
I can't remember if they were on it. I think Franklin Simpson's in it, Hart County's in it, and I think East, and then us and Logan.
Okay.
But I feel confident that if we can get out of our first game, then we should be able to get to the championship, hopefully. And maybe see what happens when that happens.
All right. Anything else about the upcoming season you can think of or that you want people to know?
Just that these girls have been working their butts off, and I really hope that the fans and the kids at the high school will come out and support the girls like they used to. I made them watch one of the games that we used to have from when I think I first took over, and there's a whole section of high school kids sitting behind the goal. It's like I want to get that back. I want to get that excitement back for our soccer team this year, so we can get good crowds out there. And I feel like when you have a good crowd, it gets the girls going a little bit more as well.
Yeah, people used to, more of the students used to show up for the games. They'd bring their trombones and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that again. So all you students out there, go check out some girls soccer.
Absolutely.
All right, this is Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's of Glasgow. We'll be right back.
Presented by McDonald's of Glasgow, it's back to the studio with James and John, the Brown Sports Bag.
Welcome back to the Brown Sports Bag. I want to thank Jackson Arnett, Glasgow football coach, first year at Glasgow, for coming in and talking to us at the beginning of the show, and then Glasgow girls soccer coach Scott Zettlemoyer coming in. He brought his assistant coach, Emma Watson. She just observed. She decided she didn't have anything to say. But anyway, I want to thank them for coming in and talking to us. I will say this. I'm encouraged by the numbers he has out. I think he told us before. He didn't. I don't know if he said this on air, but they have about 25 out. And, I mean, we were talking about that. The year they went 0-13, I mean, I think they had, 15 players? 14?
Yeah, they were struggling to get just bodies out there.
Yeah, I mean, so he's done a really good job of rebuilding the program. And I think I kind of wonder about this because we were talking about the student section and that kind of stuff, how people used to come to the games. You know, we had this down period during, COVID, post-COVID, where numbers were down in just about every sport. Fans, especially students, coming to games was down in every sport. And I kind of wonder if this year, hopefully, we're far enough past these things that we've got our numbers back up participation-wise in sports. And maybe our fan turnout will start coming back where people, are willing to come to the games, especially the students. I mean, maybe they are starting to feel more like they want to be at the games. And I'm curious to see if that might not be the case this year. So, it's maybe we're kind of finally making a turn because we have the people who basically went to school, high school, through the whole COVID situation out of, gone now. And so maybe we have a bunch of students who don't really remember the doldrums of those days. I'm curious to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Major League Baseball has the trade deadline this Thursday, John?
Thursday is the trade deadline. That's correct.
So are the Reds going to be sellers or buyers this year? Or you think?
I don't think they're sellers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're right. They're having a good year. They're 56-50. So they got a good record. They're 6.5 out of first place, but they should right now, if everything ends, they are right in line for a wild card bid. In fact, they're probably in the wild card right now. They're just in a tough division. Chicago and Milwaukee are 62-43. They're two of the top teams in all of baseball.
Right.
In fact, they have the second best record in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But the Reds are playing well. They've won 4 straight. They just swept Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when they named Terry Francona as their head coach, their manager,
mm-hmm.
then that was a tremendous sign because he's a World Series champion, and every time he managed, he's had some health issues. His teams win, and he just has a great feel for the game and handling pitchers and personnel and so forth. So I like where the Reds are.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's curious. So who will be the sellers this time around, you think?
Well, Arizona's already starting to sell. And they're not – I mean, they were just in the World Series a couple years ago, but they're 51-55, so they got some contracts they can't. St. Louis would like to sell because they're starting to – I don't know if they got enough – they got a really good reliever to sell. But – with the wild card being expanded, a lot of teams still feel like they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to find teams that are quote-unquote sellers right now. But there'll probably be – Boston made the big trade about a month ago when they traded Devers, who's a $300 million player. And since they traded him to San Francisco, Boston has gotten better. I mean, it's kind of
Addition
weird.
by subtraction.
Yeah, they're 57 and 50, and they were below 500 at the time,
Yeah.
so they've caught fire. So it's just, we'll see. Atlanta's probably going to sell their 44 and 60. They're just having a terrible year.
Yeah.
So some of their probably
It's kind of a
better
strange turnaround for the Braves.
I mean,
they
this is the first bad year they've had in a long time. Got off to that terrible start. I think they lost their first 7 or 8.
Yeah.
It never has recovered.
Right.
And they've got pitching injuries from the very start, and that contributed, but probably not enough injuries to make them this bad this year.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago, I guess it looked like the Braves were about to turn the corner and be like the team to beat in the National
They won
League.
the World Series, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, they looked like they were going to be like right there at that top.
I think they'll probably be back, but not this year. It's
Yeah.
one of those years.
And then I guess Shohei Ohtani has really
He's homered in 6 out of his last 7 games.
Yeah, I was going to say he's really come back from the injuries, and really he's just cooking at the moment.
Well, I mean, he played every game last year, but pitching was what you're talking about.
Yes,
yeah,
right.
He's starting to pitch now. He's up to like 4 innings, and I mean, he's just one of the greatest players of all time.
Isn't that? I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, he's in the Babe Ruth territory in terms of.
Before he came along, we were in that position where we had decided, we just generally, sports fans had decided there would never be another player like that. And it looked like there would never be another player given a chance to be like that.
That's it, chance, because there are players like that. You just go to high school.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And your best pitchers are often your shortstops.
Right.
And it's starting to a little bit in college where pitchers can also play positions as well, and it's just a matter of getting a chance.
Yeah.
And now the difference is he's a top 5 pitcher and a top 5 hitter. That's a rare combination.
I guess if you're that good, there's no way they couldn't give you a chance to do those things.
I'm sure there's some organizations that.
Oh yeah.
When he signed from Japan, that was the contingency.
Yes.
He's going to do both.
Yeah. Yeah, that is fascinating. I remember whenever that signing happened, we're about to get out of here. I remember when that signing happened, there were a lot of people who were like, well, there's no way he's going to pick one. He's going to have to give up one. There's no way anybody's going to let him do it. There's no way they're going to risk him being out there and that kind of stuff. But even going back to the, what was it, Tommy John surgery that kept him out of pitching.
Yeah.
I mean, it did not slow down his ability at the plate whatsoever.
Probably better.
Yeah. I mean, and so it's been kind of an interesting situation because a lot of people, just the surgery, they would have said, nah, maybe I just don't do anything, just recover. But he said, nope, I'm going to keep on playing.
And won a World Series.
That's right. All right, it's a Brown Sports Bag presented by McDonald's in Glasgow. We'll be back again next week at 4 o'clock.
You've been listening to the Brown Sports Bag on WCLU. Be sure to join James and John again next Monday at 4 for another edition of the Brown Sports Bag.